So, hey, and good day for you all. Despite the news that we heard today in the morning, I'm so sorry for hearing that. I hope all your loved ones are in safe. So, what we are going to be doing at the moment, we're gonna be making Creme Ninon with smoked pork belly and sandwich cress. So, the first thing to do, we're gonna take the shallots onion and we gonna chop it in half. What we are gonna do, we're gonna dice it in small pieces before we start making the sauce. And as you can see, I'm using a meat knife for onion, but it's fine sometimes. Only sometimes. So just dice the onion in small pieces. Anyhow, it doesn't really matter big or small because you're gonna get rid of it in a bit. So I'll take a small pan. You're gonna be hearing all of this noise all the time, all around the video. Anyway, take the onion, put it in a pan, and I'm gonna go exactly according to the recipe with you. So I'm gonna be reading the recipe with you as well. So now that I have onion in the pan, I already cut it in small pieces. Boil the onion together with the stock and the wine for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna be taking white wine, put it immediately on it. And then for me, I'm gonna be taking vegetable stock. So that's how much vegetable stock you have in the bag, but what I recommend is to take 1 teaspoon, not more. And the rest, you can use it for anything else later. So, but at the moment, we have in the casserole shallots onion, chopped finely. Then I have vegetable stock, white wine, and what we are going to be doing is cook them together. So now that I have the stove on, I'm gonna be taking the pork belly and I'm gonna chop it for small pieces as well. I'm gonna be making sure how big it's gonna be, and it will be cut the pork belly into small squares. Okay, cool. So what I have is a whole pork belly piece. So I'm gonna take the same piece that I sent to you already, which is almost this big. And then what we are going to be doing is slice it into a few slices, and then each slice gonna slice it again into 1 centimeter square. I think you can see it on the camera how big I'm making it. So, yet I didn't take the whole piece, so you can take as much as you feel like it. For the ones who have vegetarians, instead of the pork belly, I sent some linses with it as well. So what you are going to be doing is just microwave it for like 20 seconds and then use it instead of the pork belly. Just use the linses instead of the pork belly. So you get a vegan and vegetarian. And the same thing for the sauce. Instead of using chicken stock, use vegetable stock, so it becomes vegan instead. So right now I'm gonna be taking a pan so I can start frying the pork belly. Before you fry anything, always heat up the pan really well. Otherwise, you're gonna get your whatever you are staking, it's gonna be stuck on the pan, and you don't want that. So again, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I can take a couple of pieces and show it to you in the camera, so you know how big it is. So I thought show you like the pieces of pork belly, how big it's gonna be. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, right? But this is how big it's supposed to be. So right now I'm heating up the pan so I can fry the pork belly in it. And as I say, always heat up the pan, otherwise you're gonna get your protein stuck on the pan, and you don't want that, to be honest. For me, I'm gonna be taking butter, a bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna always start with olive oil and finish with butter. And why you do that for the taste of the butter. You still want the taste of the butter. And to have that, you add it always in the end. So right now I have my sauce is cooking. And in another pan, I'm gonna take the green peas that I have. Cream. And I can take a bit of more cream, that was not enough. What you are going to be taking is like half this liter cream with 300 gram green peas. You have everything already measured on the bag that you got yesterday. So right now I'm gonna cook up the peas and the cream, and waiting for the pork belly. I have the sauce is cooking. What we are going to be doing is, it says here boil it for about 20 minutes, but I recommend you to boil it in about 10 minutes, not more, that's enough. So now that I start having golden brown color on the pork belly, I'm gonna set on it a bit of butter. You know, it's always good with the butter. The green peas and the cream, you totally do not need to cook it over 3 minutes. You can just cook it. The moment it starts boiling, you can just take it on a side and start like mixing it immediately. So I'm gonna be bringing a plate only. Our first dish is almost done. And I feel so hungry, to be honest. So this plate is gonna be me who's taking it this time. Eller hur, Mats? So now that I boiled the stock, wine, onion all together, for me what I'm gonna be doing is sealing it. Give me a second, please. So the pork belly pieces are done, and it's supposed to look like that. This is how golden brown it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be crispy. So Now what I'm gonna be doing is taking off the shallots onion, because that is absolutely not needed. What I need is the sauce only. And then just put it on side in a way to be thrown later. So in this pan right now, I have green peas, I have cream, and what I'm gonna be adding is black pepper and a punch of salt. 2 punch of salt can be go in as well. So now it start boiling. The moment it start boiling, I can just take my hand mix and mix it in a bit. Ooh, that was close. So if you have a regular mixture at home, it works as well. You don't need to have hand mix, any kind of mixer. Your smoothie mixer can work as well. To be honest, if you have like a regular mixer, it's a lot better. I can see it right now. You don't need to mix it until it's like really smooth. You still can have small pieces in it. It's totally fine. I'm gonna show you in a minute how it's gonna be. So, and this is what I mean that you can have big pieces in it. It's totally fine. So what I'm gonna be doing is heat it up a little bit only, not that much. And now I'm gonna start plating our Creme Ninon. So in the bottom of the plate, gonna be putting our peas mixture. And above it, gonna take pork belly pieces. Put it on it. I love pork belly, so I'm gonna take all of it. I'm gonna take a bit of the butter as well from it. Put it on a plate, and then the sauce that we had, take it and just put it around on the sides as much as you desire. Take sandwich cruster, which are these. You have it also in a bag, and then put it on the top of it. Voila, that's it. Now we have our Creme Ninon with a smoked pork belly and sandwich crust. Hope you like it. So now we're gonna be starting with our virrotti. I hope that I said it right. Virrotti, I think it's right. With bearnaisesås and brown butter, or bearnaisesås we made with brown butter, black kale, forest mushroom, and pommes de terre. So what we first stage we're gonna be doing is the beer sauce, and we gonna take the white wine and lemon juice, which are mixed together in this small box, I can name it, I don't know what to name it to be honest, but we have both lemon and white wine vinegar in it. So it says in a small saucepan, heat up the vinegar and half of the chopped tarragon until reduced to half. Strain into a small bowl and let it cool. So what we are going to be doing, we're gonna take all of the white wine vinegar and the lemon juice together, both of them, and take a saucepan, put it in the saucepan. We're just gonna heat it up fast, not more, with some pieces of the tarragon. You can take like that much would be enough. Then just put it where, turn on the stove and have check on it, because the moment it stops boiling, you're gonna take it on the side immediately. So you're just gonna heat it up with the tarragon, not more. Meanwhile, I'm doing that. I'm gonna be heating up the pan that I steak the pork belly in, and steak also the meat in it, which is vorotti again. So the lemon juice and the vinegar start like boiling, so I took it on the side immediately. In the pan that I'm heating up, I'm gonna take one piece of virotti. I keep forgetting its name. So the virotti, I have it here, and then I'm gonna turn on the oven and put it on 180. So give me a second, please. So on the pan right now that I'm taking the virotti, I'm gonna take salt and pepper, salt it up, pepper it up, before we put it in the oven. Just so you know, we are not going to put the meat in the oven on 180. We're gonna put the meat in the oven on 55, but we have the oven on 180 to have the potatoes in. But right now that I'm reading the recipe, there is absolutely no need for oven to make the potatoes, so we can reduce it again to 55 because it's not going to be needed on 180. So the meat, you fry it, for example, 3 minutes on both sides, on each side. And then as well, before you finish, you take a bit of butter, like half a spoon, and then put it with it. So you can get that flavor as well. So right now that I have it done, just gonna put it in another pan so I can have it in the oven, a better pan, and then stick it in the oven on 55 for 40 minutes. For 40, if you stick it in an oven for 40 minutes on 55, you will get a medium piece. If you stick it for 50 to 55 minutes, you will get like medium well. Or we can say well done almost. It's not going to be well done, but it's going to be almost well done. So next step of ours, we're going to be making our bearnaisesås. So right now that I have cooked up the white wine vinegar and lemon, the next step that is going to be happening, I'm going to start heating up the butter and burn up the butter. technically we're gonna make burnt butter, but you're still gonna have checking on it because you don't want it dead more than you want it burned. You're gonna be taking 150 gram. That's a bit less than 150 gram. I'll take a bit more from here. So then put it on a high heat and wait for it. Next step that we are going to be making, we're gonna start staking the mushroom and black kale. Our step will be easy and fast. I'm gonna take the same pan here with a fork or the same cutting board, and on the cutting board I'm gonna have mushroom, black kale we said. 2 pieces of mushroom for me. I don't like mushroom that much. I know that you have a lot more mushroom than that, but for me I don't like mushroom that much, so I just took like 75 gram. But in the bag you have almost 200 gram mushroom. You can take all, or you can take as much as you feel like it. The same with the black kale. So gonna take a pan. For me, I'm gonna take the same pan that I used for the meat, as long as I chopped it in the oven with another pan. So I'll take this pan for this moment. The butter start melting. Don't be afraid, we're gonna burn it, so don't worry about it. In the pan that is already hot, I'll take butter. For the ones who's vegetarian, the ones who have root celery or like celeriac, you're gonna be doing exactly the same stages. The same with meat, but you're gonna do it with root celery. And then instead for the bea, for the ones who's like 100% vegan, the only thing that you can do is make, you have vegan butter there though, just heat up the butter, burn the butter the same way, and then mix the butter with tarragon, parsley, and lemon juice and white wine vinegar and salt. So technically you're gonna get a sauce instead of thick sauce. You're gonna get like a loose sauce instead of a thick sauce. But you're still gonna get the bearnaise taste or like flavor in the butter there. Be careful when you're boiling or melting up the butter, because you can get a couple of spots on your hands. So be careful when you are melting up the butter. Sorry. So right now I have the mushroom done. I'm gonna take black kale and mix them together with the mushroom, a bit of salt, a bit more of salt, and black pepper. Mix them together and turn off the stove and put it on the side, leave it in the pan, and that's it. So I have the butter start burning at the moment. I'm gonna keep waiting for it a bit more. So we have the meat in the oven, the same with the celery. We have mushroom and black kale done. Now we're gonna jump to pommes de terre. For me, I don't have big potato. I have only small potato for the day. So what I'm gonna be taking is the potato with the shell on it, and then just slice it into thin pieces. I can't say as thin as you can, otherwise it might be so thin, so we can say take it to 1 millimeter bar only. Keep your eyes on the butter meanwhile you are cutting your potato, so it doesn't be double burned or like burnt as hell. You don't want that. You still want the taste of the butter in it. So now it start burning. I'm gonna show you when do you know that it start burning. Vilken kamera, Mats? Den här. So when you start seeing brown on the sides, that means it start being burned, and you totally do not need to put it on the stove more than that. Just take it on the side. That's how it will be, and that's it. Now it's done. I'm gonna put it on the side and cool it down a bit. I don't want it to be really hot as hell, otherwise the whole sauce is gonna break down. What we're gonna be doing is just gonna be waiting for the butter a bit until it's cooled down, and meanwhile I'm waiting for that. I'm gonna be making the potato. Now that I have sliced the potato, I'm gonna be checking what's the next step with it. So it says here peel and cut the potatoes into thin slices. So that's the kind of slices that I have for me. You can cut it in totally any kind of slice that you think is good for you or you think that you want to see on your plate. Take the leaves of the thyme and mix it together with the potato and some salt. Fry the potato in a frying pan together with some butter until brown. So, and that's what I'm going to be doing in a second. I'm going to take another pan. I don't have any pans left. No, I'm just joking. I still have. Heat up the pan. This time I can take the butter immediately. You totally do not need to heat up the pan that much. But of course, it has to be hot. So I took like almost 40 gram. And I'm gonna be mixing it with another 40 gram olive oil. So now I'm gonna wait for the pan until it's hot. So I'm gonna be taking is a couple of thyme leaves and then put it with the potato here immediately before we steak it. So now that I have the thyme on it, a bit of salt, a bit of black pepper, and now it's ready to pan fry it. Mix them together a bit. Waiting for the butter in the pan so we can start pan frying it. So, just to make sure, we have the meat in the oven, we have mushroom and black kale done, and we are on pommes de terre, and it's almost done. We can say in 2 minutes we'll be done. So the butter will be rested a bit, so it will be cooler a bit. Then we can make bearnaisesås and be plating our plate and done with it. So the butter now is melted with the oil. Take the potato, put it with the butter in. That looks really delicious, so I'm gonna take a bit more potato. It's always good with a potato. Yeah, I know that you don't have that much potato dough in the bag, so try to buy some more potatoes. It's always good with a potato. Start frying it. Yes, and then the pan that I had the vinegar and lemon in, just take off the tarragon that you had in, and then take the eggs and separate the yolks from the whites, and the only thing that you're gonna be using is the egg today. So you can use the white as a protein shake. It's always good after gym, or you can throw it, or you can send it home to me. I'm just joking. So first egg yolk, I put it in the same pan with the vinegar. Another egg yolk. I'm gonna also put it with the vinegar there. And let me see what is the next step, so I can be going with you 100% according to the steps. Keep stirring the potato because you don't want it to be burnt from one side only. And use a lot of butter and oil so it can cover the potato 100%. So, give me a second so I can read it. Okay, so it says that we're gonna use a blender for the beya, but if you don't have any blender at home and you only have, for example, hand mix, it can work so good for it as well. For me, I'm gonna do it with a hand mix, so you know what I mean. And there it is. I need to clean it a bit. So, as I said, keep your eyes on the potato because it can be done in less than a minute. So I don't know how strong your stove is, always keep an eye on the potato. So in the same pan that I had the vinegar and the egg yolk, I'm gonna take a hand mix and start mixing the eggs. So now I have the egg yolk and vinegar and lemon mixed. I have the potato done. Just gonna turn off the stove, not more. Then gonna continue with my beya. Take the butter that is already rested enough on the side. Put like an amount of it with the egg yolk. Mix them together more. I know that this machine sounds so much, Sorry for that. For me, I'm gonna make it a bit thick. You don't need to use all the 150 gram of butter. If it's thick enough, in your opinion, then it's done. So, for me, that's how thick I want it. I'm gonna show you in the camera in a second. This is how thick for me that I want it. Then you can decide how thick do you want it. For you, it's up to you. This is how thick that I want it for me though. You can make it thicker than that, or you can make it more loose than that. Up to you. So, on this mixture I'm gonna be taking salt, black pepper, and then in a bag you have tarragon and parsley. Take all of the amount and chop it finely and put it with a sauce and mix, and then you have a bearnaise sauce done. So now I have tarragon. For me, I don't have an access for parsley at the moment, but I already packed parsley for you in your bag. So both of them, the tarragon and the parsley, are in the same white bag that you have there. So this is, I have the bearnaise sauce done, I have the mushroom done, black kale, meat done. So now we are ready to plate our plate. But before we do all of that, all we need is to taste our sauce, how it is. Tastes so good. So now we're ready to plate. Wanna show, vill du visa den på kameran, Mats? So, on the bottom, I'm gonna take the mushroom and the black kale that I had. Just put all of it in the bottom of the plate. I'm gonna take the meat from the oven as well. Put it on the bottom. Take the potato. Put it, for example, on this side. As I said, it's always delicious with a potato, so don't be shy with the potato. Then I'll take the bearnaise sauce and put it over the meat. And then we have our plate done. I'm gonna take a bit of cress as well. I still have some cress. I believe that you're gonna have a lot of cress left. So take a bit if you want it to look a bit fine dining, and then just put it on the top of it. And that's it. Hope you liked our recipes and our plate, and I will wish you a happy continuing day. Have it so nice. Goodbye.